Here we go. We are live and we're back. I'm back. I spent a few days with my daughter Vivian in Boston. So got back Wednesday night. Yesterday, markets were closed in observance of 4th of July, Independence Day here in the US. And then today we had the jobs report. Now, before we got into the jobs report, the indices were making new all-time highs. So what's happening here? And we have a bunch of positions open, both in the wheel strategy and also in the WTF strategy. And with that said, welcome to Coffee with Markus and Mark. And in this show, we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. And today is Friday, July 5th. Mark, did you do anything fun for 4th of July?
Yeah, we enjoyed the pool and cooked up some burgers, had family and over, and it was a good time. How about you?
Pretty much the same difference. I cooked steaks.
Yeah, that's my go-to, but when you have kids over, sometimes the burgers are the better option.
I hear you. I hear you. So, yeah, kind of a short trading week. So markets were closed yesterday and we had a short trading day on Wednesday. But on Wednesday, it was enough for the S&P and the Nasdaq to make record highs again.
Look at that. Look at that. Quite a move there. And it looks like we're setting up to finish the week positive. And today, jobs. Interesting report.
Yeah, so we need to look at the 5-minute chart of the E-mini S&P because the jobs report was released an hour before the markets opened. And here we kind of see what's going on. It's almost like a seismograph that we have going on here. So
Yeah.
first of all, hopes that the jobs report is delivering what traders are expecting, which is kind of a softening economy and a worse than expected, or not worse than expected, but a worsening labor market here. Then getting a little bit nervous getting into the report, and ever since the market is trying to figure out what do we do with this. First, shooting up, then shooting down, then yay, no, yay, maybe. So, I mean, a big question mark of what does this jobs report mean? So, let's take a look at this and see what is happening when we hop here on the economic calendar.
Like I said, an interesting report, and based on that reaction, it just shows that traders don't know what to make of it. We have average hourly earnings coming out in line with expectations at a 0.3% increase. Now, the non-farm number crept higher, so 206,000 jobs added, which was higher than expected. But then that unemployment rate ticked up a bit, 4.1%.
Yeah, and this where let's really dissect it and look into this of what exactly it means, especially if we compare it. So, the monthly job creation in the US, actually, excuse me, as we can see, has gone down here, and we also see that the unemployment rate is ticking up. So, I mean, this is a level that we haven't seen since 2022, so in quite a while. And then we also see the change in average hourly earnings keeps going down. So, I mean, first of all, this is kind of good for the fight against inflation, what the Fed wants. This is supported by a higher unemployment rate, right? So the wage pressure is not that high. So why isn't there just fireworks in the market and saying, "Yay, the Fed is cutting rates here"?
Well, there were some fireworks, and that was actually in the yield market, but not in equities
Yeah, let's
or the
hop over
bond
there.
market.
Let's take a look at the 2-year yield. Bring it up here. And this is where we see, yeah, I mean, also first jumping higher, now decisively lower. So is the 10-year yield.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the type of reaction that I think you would expect, but maybe the slightly stronger jobs, uh, the added jobs was a little bit of a surprise. And another very interesting thing, Marcus, I think we have to look at the heat map because it really paints a clear picture of what's happening today. Look at that. You have the Magnificent Six Apple higher, Microsoft higher, Google higher, Meta higher, Tesla higher, Amazon higher. Pretty much everything else is red.
Yeah.
So it looks like money's going into some of the big names. Nvidia got a downgrade. I said, is Nvidia due for a pullback? But look at that, down a little bit. But all of that green going into the big names, but not in the rest of the S&P.
Yeah, and I mean, also looking at the CME Fed Watch tool here, right? I mean, the probabilities for lowering rates haven't really changed. I mean, nobody's expecting a rate cut in the January meeting, which will be at the end of the month. Right now, again, we're at around what 73% that the rate cut will come in September. I honestly thought with this jobs report, these probabilities would jump higher. I really thought that traders think right now, okay, the economy is weakening because this is what we see if you go back to the report. And this is why I think today markets are undecided. On the one hand, yes, the Fed needs to lower rate. On the other hand, I mean, this means that people have less money to spend, right? More people are looking for a job. So that's actually pointing to a softening economy. And combine this with what we saw from the Fed meeting minutes. Did you look at to the Fed meeting minutes that were released on Wednesday after the markets
I
closed?
I was kind of in holiday mode in the afternoon, so I didn't.
Yeah, so super interesting. So there's 9 central bankers, right, that attended the Fed meeting, and they're all voting. And then there was a discussion with some even indicating raising rates if necessary. I mean, nobody believes this, but it was just interesting. And I think right now there's more pressure on the Fed to lower rates, especially with the jobs report. Powell has always said, okay, once the labor market is softening, this is when we will take action. This morning, after these Fed meeting minutes, this is where everybody says, okay, are they taking action? Are they not taking action? And this is why we have kind of this very weird market still pushing higher here, kind of like as yields are lower. Okay, so probably they are lowering rates.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I am surprised that the cut in September doesn't have a higher probability, but we also have 2 more months of data before we get that September meeting, and that includes 2 more jobs reports too. So, yeah, it does seem like September is the month. That's the target, but of course things can change. I haven't been looking at the probabilities day to day and not for a week, maybe 2 weeks, but it does seem like the December probabilities have gone up. So, if anything, it looks like now traders are leaning more towards 2 cuts this year, the December probabilities were slightly higher than 50%. But we see now that has definitely, that's almost in line with the probabilities for a September cut now.
Yeah, and I mean we also have a November meeting. So yeah, I mean I think that 2 cuts are still on the table. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and then going
Yeah.
back to the heat map, as you said, I mean, Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. I mean, Tesla is just skyrocketing. Let's go back here to TSLA. I want to bring this up. Look at this. I mean, after surpassing deliveries, wow, what a move here for Tesla. Let's just see. This is a 50% move from just mid June in a couple of weeks here.
Back from the dead. I mean, gosh, going flat for a couple of months there. Couldn't get away from 170, 180, and parabolic move. Can it continue?
parabolic parabolic moves are never good, but you know what? I believe that this could actually be a short squeeze. What do you think about this? I do believe that there were a bunch of traders who were short Tesla and say, okay, Tesla has lost their edge, Tesla are down, because that parabolic move cannot be explained by the slightly better than expected deliveries, which are still lower than a year ago. So, I mean, it's not that they're just blowing it out of the water. I almost feel that this could be a short squeeze.
Could be. Once it gets going, sometimes it explodes.
Yeah. And then we also have Macy's this morning making a move. So Macy's this morning up 11%. Did you see what's driving the news here?
Yeah, so there's another takeover offer or another bid that came in. I didn't see the exact details, but looks like investors are liking that.
Yeah, I think the buyout was $26, and they raised it to 26.80. So I mean that is
Okay.
not a significant number, but we know that Macy's has been the target of a takeover here, and this is just showing yes, these buyers are serious and they are just increasing it because I believe that initially it was at $22. Not 100% sure, but it has been creeping up to $24, $26. Now $26.80. So I mean, this is where the buyout happened. I mean, this is where eventually shareholders and the board have to vote for it. But yeah, this is where some excitement here this morning for Macy's up 11%.
That's great. I do know that there are a few of our mastermind members that are wheeling Macy's, and hopefully that helped them out. If you haven't sold calls, today would be a great day.
Today would be definitely a great day. All right, and let's see who else. Oh my gosh, we got to take a look at Bitcoin. Have you seen what's happening in the cryptocurrencies?
Yeah,
Bitcoin
Bitcoin.
getting hammered.
Look at that. Interesting. Getting through some support levels, technical levels, and not looking too hot right now.
Yeah, and have you seen what's causing it? It's quite interesting.
No,
So
tell me.
there's this cryptocurrency exchange, Mt. Gox, which collapsed a while back, right? So right now, creditors are being paid. So I mean, all the assets have been frozen, all the cryptocurrency assets that this company had, and now creditors are getting their money. And this is where everybody says, okay, we're talking about billions of dollars of cryptocurrencies being returned to creditors. What do you think are these creditors are doing? Probably selling them right away, right? And turning
Sure.
them into dollars. So this is where right now we also have the German government that seized a bunch of Bitcoins, and they just dumped $175 million into the market by liquidating it. So there's just enormous selling pressure from these two things. The German government, well, that's not too much, but I think the Mt. Gox, this is where we are talking about billions of dollars that is being returned to creditors. And right now, this is where everybody says, oh, they're probably just selling it off. So therefore, more supply, less demand. And this is
Sure.
causing right now Bitcoin to slide. I mean, below all key levels, as you said. I mean, over the weekend, I believe, or earlier this morning, it was trading at $53,000. Right now, back to $56,000.
Wow, that's a pretty big slide from those highs. And I know that that's carrying over into other crypto related stocks like Coinbase, MicroStrategy, as it would be expected, MR or Riot.
Yeah, so we see here MU today down 4%. Coinbase, we see it's down today 3%. Riot, probably also Mara, right? So Riot down
Yeah.
2%. Mara today down, what, 6%? So yeah,
Sure.
definitely. All right. Want to take a look at our positions?
Sure.
Let's start with WTF because there's a lot going on with our WTF. So right now, no new signals, and we have 9 open signals. No, we did not take all of the 9 open signals, but we are in 7 out of these 9. So first up here, DHR, DHR, where we entered at 240.91 right now, slightly below. Nothing for us to do here. Nicely bouncing off the 200-day moving average.
Yep. Just hanging in there.
All right. Disney, what's happening with Disney?
Disney is doing its thing. Had a nice day on Wednesday, but pulling back a little bit today.
Yeah, down 0.6%. We entered at 99.40, 98.02 the price right now, so slightly down here. KDP, we did not get into this one just yet, and I might be interested in taking this as an open below entry.
Yeah, for me as well. I'm keeping an eye on it, and definitely a possibility.
Yeah. All right, MRK Merck still trading above our entry price. We entered at 125.38 right now, trading at as we can see here 126.20. No exit signal yet, but I think we're getting close to an exit signal.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate because the very first day, once we when we had that entry, just a beautiful up day. It was up 3.3%. Since then, the moves fizzled out a little bit, and so that's where we could probably see an exit real soon, and hopefully we push higher here.
Yeah. Moderna. This is a stock that you are in. I decided to skip this trade, slightly trading
Correct?
below your entry, but you're still in this one. PCAR, I mean, had a great day on Wednesday. Today, giving back some of the gains that it made on Wednesday. We entered at 103.81. Right now, trading at 100.05. So we'll see if it pushes above the 200-day moving average again, because it did
Yeah.
it on Wednesday. So right now, let's see what happens there. But right now, for today, down almost 2%.
Yeah, come on, PCAR.
Yeah. PG Procter and Gamble. This is a signal that I skipped. Did you take it?
I skipped this as well.
Skip this as well. Would have been a nice trade, right? So we skipped a winning trade here. Sometimes it happens, and then we also have RTX. RTX also just trading around our entry price. We entered at 101.47. Right now, trading at 125, just about there. And then we also had an exit signal today.
Yeah, PDD giving us an exit signal, and I closed this at 135.80.
Okay. So this turned out to be a small loss for us because we entered at 139, bought some more on a 5% drop, and therefore just a very small loss for us. But hey, we were on a winning streak. June has been fantastic. It's one of the few losses that we have had in the last 4 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. So far, hanging in there, and looking to see some exits on these open positions.
Yeah. And hopping over to the wheel, CSIQ. My gosh. I mean, CSIQ on Tuesday started a rebound and then definitely continuing on Wednesday. I mean, up 8% on Wednesday. So we have been in the position for a while, and then we sold the 1550 puts and we got assigned. So we did fly another partial rescue mission. And at first it looked like a bad idea because we dropped down to 14. But right now, nicely bouncing back, trading at 1557 right now. And we both were able to lower our cost basis this way.
Yeah, I have a cost basis of I need to see exactly what it is, but I think it's like 24.50 now,
Yep.
something around there. So the rescue getting 50 cents on that 1550 put ended up working out nicely. You're right, Marcus. It looked a little precarious there initially, but then 2 strong days, and we've seen this correlation or inverse correlation to the 10-year yield. And so when the yields were spiking, CSIQ was plummeting. The last 2 days, yields have pulled back a little bit. CSIQ rallied. I wish that we were up a little more today with that drop in yields as well.
Honestly think it's a little bit of profit taking because that's a 15% move that we had here. So right now
Yeah.
we're going to a 13% move. So I believe that could be a little bit of profit taking. Yeah, but I'm excited to see that it is pouncing back and moving in the right direction right now.
Yep.
HAL, this, come on, buddy. What is happening here? So we got assigned at 34.50. We sold calls against half of our position. They expired worthless last Friday. I haven't been able to sell calls this week. Have you?
No, no, there was 30% for next Friday that was available at the open on Wednesday. It looked like we might be moving higher, and then that rally just kind of fizzled, and then today down a little bit.
Yeah. So right now, my break even is at 33.22, trading at 33.10. So just slightly below my break even. And yeah, we want to see if we can push a little bit higher here again before we can start selling calls.
Yep.
All right. IWM, keeping an eye on this. And this is where we did have a position. We did get called away. Right now, no position in IWM, but maybe we are selling again the 198 strike price. I mean, this actually looks good for me, but I want to see that we get here enough money. And as you can see right now, no options found because it doesn't meet our criteria.
Exactly. So watching this, looking at the possibility below 200, 199, 198, and just waiting.
Yeah. And then we have our little buddy UPS that's a little bit all over the place and still trapped in this range between 140 right here and 134. And yeah, just hanging out there, not making a significant move to the upside or the downside. We have been a little bit lower today, slightly down 0.15%, have been pushing higher. Nothing for us to do right here.
Yeah, earnings July 24th. We'll see if
Yeah.
there's some good news there.
Yeah, because we know that FedEx reported good earnings and was rallying and still staying up there, even though pulling back a little bit. So we're hoping for something very similar here in UPS.
That's what I'm looking for.
All right. Good. All right. Before we see what the markets are doing here right now, okay. Do you have any jokes for us today, Mark?
All right. So you spent some time in Boston with your daughter this week, and did you get a chance to eat some lobster?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of sad, but have you heard that when you boil lobsters, they scream, and some people think that it's in pain. Some people think that it's the boiling water rushing through the shells. But did you know that some people also believe that sweet potatoes can feel pain?
What?
Yeah. And when they're being washed before getting boiled, instead of screaming, they are completely silent. Do you know what this is called?
No.
The silence of the yams.
Well, I mean, it was a massive build-up. I don't know if this build-up helped or not.
Come on.
But okay. The silence of the yams. Okay, all right. Hey, I thought since yesterday was 4th of July, I have a couple of 4th of July jokes. Is that okay? All right. So why are there no 4th of July knock-knock jokes?
I don't know why.
Freedom rings.
There you go.
Okay. Wait, one more. Okay. What did one flag say to the other?
I don't know.
Nothing. It just waved.
I think my silence of the yams has you on this one, Marcus.
Could be. Hey, up to you guys. I mean, you are the viewers. You let us know which joke is the better one. My 4th of July jokes. The silence is on you. Well, look at this. Quick look at the market. S&P trading right now at record highs. So is the Nasdaq. Dow. The Dow is not yet anywhere near record highs, but recently traders anyhow have been paying more attention to the S&P 500, to the Nasdaq. It will be another profitable week, and right now it seems that we could eke out another record close.
Looks like it.
Looks like it. Hey, will be interesting. So next week, make sure that you tune in again. And if you enjoyed today's show, give us a like. And if you enjoyed the jokes, yeah, make sure you like it. If you think that this information worth sharing when we talk about our trades, there's a share button right underneath. Feel free to share it with your friends. And if you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. We really enjoy having you here. Hope that you're enjoying it. And then we'll see you again on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend.
Happy trading, everybody.